Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Back to Base, and today we are going to talk about the shift left on quality, or you can say testing. So I think you already have heard about how to shift your testing or quality in left of the your SDLC process. So we are going to discuss about that and how we can achieve that and what is it basically. So let me share something. So I have created a diagram. So if you see uh, in traditional approach, if you're following waterfall or you can say agile, what happens generally in most of the project, what happens, there is a requirement gathering phase, and then there is design phase, and there is build. And after once build is done, people like QA engineer or tester, they start thinking about the test cases and manual testing, automation testing, and execution of test cases. They think about that process and do that once everything is built, and then they start the testing and test planning basically. And it takes a lot of time, and after that, release happens in general, basically in most of the project. But if you wanted to truly shift your quality, it is start from the requirement gathering. For example, if you see second diagram, if you are if you want to follow the shift lab, if you are gathering the requirement, I would say involve all the QA members from the starting. If you are gathering the requirement, parallelly they can design the test strategy document, test cases, and they can design while we are gathering the requirement, and that can be reviewed by different stakeholder like project manager, product owner, or TPMs, or they can discuss that requirement. So here basically what happens, you can create uh, I would say uh, test cases and test design as well. And uh, next phase happens like design. So when we talk about design, what happens here, let me show you something. So in design, what happens normally? What happens? So in design, normally we create a kind of architecture diagram, sequence diagram, or you can say class diagram or low level diagram we create. Or you can say we create UX design as well using Figma or other design tool. So at that level, basically, we should start thinking and creating or validating the design basically. So when I say design validation, what I mean is uh, uh, validate the architecture diagram, validate the sequence, validate any other like class diagram. You can validate whether, or you can validate the UX as well, right? So at this step you can start working on those design and you can understand those design. So at that step all the QA engineers or you can say developers should work at that point of time. And even if you have UX in the Figma or any other tool, you can probably you can start creating the automation script as a template. Like you can just create a template with the empty locators or selectors at that level, and later once you have fully ready application, you can just fill in and you can start executing the test cases. So in the design validation you need to validate these architecture, sequence, UX, everything, and if there any mismatch you should discuss with the product owner or other team member, okay, we have this discrepancies in our product, we need to fix this. So you can find maximum defect or any design issue at that particular level. Okay, so once you pass the design phase, you can move it to the build phase. So build phase is where basically actual coding happens, like implementation happens, right? So at that level, developer write the unit test cases, or you can say component level integration. So at that level, you should try to come up with at least 80% unit test coverage to make sure you have very good coverage. And once you have very good unit test coverage, you can move it to component level integration test, where you are interacting with the different component. You can design those test cases and write those test cases as well. And at the same time, once you are building, at the same time you can integrate your build pipeline with the different tool like X-ray, Veracode, uh, Veracode, and for the performance test, you may use like uh, Locust, or you can say JMeter, uh, or you can say Azure load test basically. So these things you can integrate in your pipeline and start executing during the build phase as well. So you need not to build, you need not to wait for the long time before the release. So once everything is done, then you have pretty good coverage, pretty good quality of the software. And once everything is done, you can just sign off and you can release it to different environment like stage, prod, or different prod environments. So this is how you can basically shift your quality in the left, and instead of only increasing the test coverage at the build phase, you can analyze the requirement, create a test plan, and you can do the design validation. So this is the basically true left shift if you wanted to maintain quality and release your software um faster. So that's about the this difference between traditional and shift left on quality approach. And yeah, thanks for watching. And if you like this video, please subscribe my channel Back to Base. And if you have any comment or suggestion or feedback on this, yeah, feel free to comment on the video. Thanks for watching again.